Hello fellow brawlers, I'm KairosTime and it is time for the Tick Olympics, or the Tick Olympics. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting a Tick up against all of the brawlers in the game for each of the Olympics events so that you get a good understanding of how he compares to everybody. Now for starters guys, Tick is a trophy road brawler that everybody will unlock once they surpass 4,000 trophies. Now as far as his artwork is concerned, I believe he's kind of like part of the pirate family because of the eye patch crest on his chest or something. He's clearly a robot of some sort and it looks really cool. Brawler overview. Now for Tick's regular attack, he throws out a cluster bomb into the air that blows into 3 little mines within a small radius. Now the gameplay that I'm using here is actually from a developer build before the devs finish putting the actual animation into the game, so you guys can ignore the cactus. My guess is it will actually look like a cluster bomb. Now if an enemy player touches one of the mines, they will instantly explode on them. If an enemy does not touch the mines, they will then explode 2 seconds later, and that means that Tick will do a good job at kind of like controlling a certain part of the field for a period of time. Now he can throw his attacks over walls and his attacks do splash damage, so you definitely do not want to bunch up with your teammates. I should also note that his attack is not like bows where the mines actually go invisible to the enemy brawlers. Even after they land, enemies will be able to see where they are and avoid them until they explode. Another interesting note is the fact that the mines don't treat showdown boxes, Ike turrets, or heist safes like an enemy player. This means that they actually will eventually deal damage to them, but they won't immediately explode on impact as if they were an enemy brawler. It's also important to recognize that there is quite a bit of delay when Tick actually fires his attack and when it actually explodes. And for his super, he throws out his own head so that it can then chase down the closest enemy player and explode on them, possibly even breaking walls as well. At max level, the bomb itself has 2,240 HP, and you can kill it before it reaches you. If you do that, it will explode, and if nobody is within range of it, then they will not take damage. If you do not kill it, then it will a decent amount of damage and also knock you back. Now for his star power, Tick starts recovering health 1.5 seconds faster than normal when he does not take damage or attack. Now normally brawlers will start to heal 3 seconds after, which means that Tick actually starts healing twice as fast, which is a huge deal. In fact, he actually heals faster than he reloads with his star power, making him a really great long-ranged brawler in a sustained fight. The range test. Now for Tick's super, it only reaches a throw range of 4 2/3 tiles, so it really doesn't help Tick very much at all. The center of his regular attack, however, has a range of 8 1/3 tiles, and that's impressive by itself, but it then has a possible radius of 3 1/3 tiles. I should also note that the explosive won't always reach that far, but it is possible, so it does count for this test. Now in total, this gives his total possible range an insane 11 2/3 tiles, which is crazy long. For reference, that is actually 1 1/3 tiles longer than Piper's regular attack, and if we're looking at just attack ranges, this ties him with Spike for 3rd place. But if we're actually looking at attacks and supers, Tick actually places 8th place in the range test. The survival test. Tick has the lowest health in the game at 3,080 health when he's at max level. This is actually 8% less health than the previous lowest health brawlers in the game, like Spike, Rico, Barley. You got the idea. Interestingly enough, this actually makes Tick the only brawler in the game that can be one-shot by another brawler's regular attack, and that brawler is Daryl. Tick does not have any way to survive longer against a sniper bot other than his small amount of HP, and because he only has over just 3,000 HP, he only survives for 8.2 seconds, tying him with Rico for dead last in the survival test. The race test. Tick has a movement speed of 2.4 tiles per second, which is the same as the majority of the brawlers in the game. It takes Tick 12.3 seconds to complete the race test, which ties him for 14th with 13 of the other brawlers in the game. Now with that said, I should mention that his super has an insane fast speed of 4 tiles per second. Now while this doesn't actually help Tick out in this competition, this speed is fast enough to outrun any of the brawlers in the game other than Carl while he's using his super. That is so incredibly fast, so you should not expect to be able to run away from his super at all. You're better off just killing it or I guess, taking the damage if you're really tanky for some reason. The reload test. Tick has one of the slowest reload speeds in the game. In fact, it is the slowest reload speed in the game out of all 27 brawlers. Previously, that title was held by Piper with a reload speed of 2.7 seconds, but Tick has a reload speed of 2.8 seconds. A total reload speed, including all of his, reanimations and things like that. Now, it does take him 8.4 seconds to complete the reload test, and that is so slow, especially because it's actually going to be pretty difficult for Tick to deal burst damage like Piper is, even from a distance, because, his shots are... You can avoid getting hit by all three of them. The attack test. Tick attacks with 3 mines that each deal 896 damage. In total, this comes to a possible 2,688 damage to a single target with a single attack if someone is unlucky enough to actually get hit by all 3 mines. Now, this does put him in 5th place for the attack damage test, and for reference, this is right between Colt at 2,520 damage and Bull at 2,800 damage. As a thrower, you might be curious to know that he can actually deal 560 more damage than Dynamite with a single attack. Additionally, his attack actually stays on the ground for 0.5 seconds longer than Barley's does before it actually explodes. So in a way, he's interestingly better than both of them, but only in the right circumstance, and only if he happens to hit all 3 attacks on a target. The super test. Now, for Tick's super, he can deal 2,800 damage to a single target. And when compared to other brawlers, this actually ties him with Spike for 12th place. It's kind of right around in the middle. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. The charge test. Tick is able to charge up his super with 9 mines or 3 complete attacks. Now, against a normal sized player, it would likely take more than 3 attacks, but for the sake of this test, it takes Tick 2.5 seconds for him to completely charge up his super against the Robo Boss with his regular attack. Now, the Charge Test Olympics video needs to be updated, and I need to do that, but the last time it was updated, this would have placed Tick in 12th place. The other thing that I should note is that Tick can actually recharge his super completely if it happens to deal damage to 2 targets. So he can just spam that shot out there if it does work like that. Otherwise, it takes 1 super and 2 attacks for him to recharge up his super. This could be really game-changing in team fights. The boss test. Now, against the boss, it takes 3 quick attacks for Tick to charge up his super. After that, Tick cycles between his super and 2 attacks to recharge his super again. Now, there aren't really any real tricks to doing this any faster, and so the time really is just limited due to the fact that he has a really slow reload speed. In total, it takes him 70.5 seconds, which actually ties him exactly for 17th place with Pam, who, remind you, she does not have a damage-dealing super to actually help assist her. This is actually only 1 second shorter than it takes Tara to complete this challenge with the help of her star power Shadow that's, swipes a little bit and helps out kind of a bit. The swarm test. Now, the best method that I could find for Tick to complete the swarm test is to drop 4 bombs in locations where they would actually take out 4 bots each, while attacking the furthest most column of bots with your attacks. And after a few tries, I was able to clear the swarm in 6.9 seconds, which places Tick in 14th place for the swarm test. The dive test. Now, I'm actually going to be adjusting the way that I measure the dive test for brawlers that can attack the Ike turret safely from a distance. They can either take 20 seconds to deal as much damage as possible in that time from a safe distance, or they can rush in, and whichever way deals the most damage will actually be their score. Tick is one of those brawlers that is able to deal damage to the Ike turret from a safe distance. Now, it's not actually very consistent because the mines have to land in the perfect spot for him to do this, but it does actually work. However, in 20 seconds, he's only able to deal 2,688 damage with this method, but when he actually rushes in, he's able to deal 3,584 damage. This actually places him in 24th out of the 27 brawlers, which really just is not that impressive. Now, I should also mention that his super actually does not seem to help at all with this test. Either the super will body block for Tick, and Tick fires 3 shots but then dies before he's able to reload a 4th attack, or Tick body blocks for his super, Tick throws out 3 shots, and then the super dies before it can actually reach the turret. Now, Tick certainly is not much of a diver, but the fact that he'll be able to add massive support from such a long distance makes me think that he'll actually be pretty good in Siege, or that Siege will at least be one of his best modes. The push and pull test. Now, as well as dealing a decent amount of damage with his super, it will also happen to knock brawlers back 2 1/3 tiles. Now, for reference, this is actually right between Piper's bombs at 2 tiles and El Primo's super at 2 2/3 tiles. Overall, this puts him in 6th place for the push and pull competition. Tick wrap up. Personally, I think that Tick is really going to be an interesting brawler. He'll offer a lot of area control from a distance, which will likely make Siege and Gem Grab his best 2 modes. Additionally, I actually think he'll be pretty good at bounty at max level because of his star power, allowing him to like heal up from a distance, and also like his long range being able to attack from a distance and being able to attack over walls. He could be really good on certain maps. I definitely think that he'll actually be a pretty decent option on some heist maps that have enough walls for him to hide behind. But I actually think that he'll really struggle in Brawl Ball because of his low health and like frequent bump-ins with brawlers that get close to him. The fact that it takes so long for his attacks to actually explode. Just think about like Dynamite and how weak he is to up-close brawlers, and multiply that by even more because it takes so long for Tick's attacks to actually explode. Now, I think that Showdown will actually also be a terrible place to push him for the same exact reason. He's just not good in those 1v1 interactions. Honestly, he feels very weak close up because of how long it takes for his attacks to actually deal damage, and because of how spread out his damage actually is. Now, based off of my limited testing, I would say that he's going to be kind of on the weaker side. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but if anything, he's a very high skill brawler, and so really skilled players might be able to actually like make really good use of him, but only time will tell if he actually needs a buff, or maybe even he needs a nerf. I'm really curious to know what you guys think after watching this video. Do you think he's going to be good? Do you think he's going to be weak? And then, of course, you know, drop that in the section below. And don't forget to subscribe for 4. Of course, guys, don't forget to subscribe for more videos on, you know, Brawl Stars updates, just like this one. For now, guys, this is KairosTime ticking by. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's been waiting the whole video just so he could say that one line. No, I was not. For now, this is KairosTime ticking by, and we will see you guys in Brawl Stars.